ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Tuesday, March 9th. This is a Committee of the Whole meeting. We're going to start the meeting here at 5:35. We're going to approximately go till 6:30. 5:30, we advertised a special call. 5:30 Committee of the Whole, just to immediately follow. So we're going to take 1 hour and do the best we can with the scheduled CAL meeting. So with that said, I'd like to call the meeting to order, and roll call vote, please.
Councilman Burgess?
Here.
Councilwoman Lovell? Here. Councilman Maldonado?
Here.
Councilman Shelley?
Here.
Councilman Williams?
Here.
Vice Mayor Waldman? Mayor Bateman?
Here. Additions, deletions, deferrals.
No, this time, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, item 1, Committee of the Whole, that's me, Mayor Bateman, there, February 9th, deletions, deferrals. Our first item, entertain a motion.
I'll move the minutes of February the 9th.
Thank you.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Item B, proposed construction amendment, Amendment 4. Mr. Perino, would you explain that to us, Amendment 4? Motion to move it forward. Second?
Yes, sir. This is a legislature that's up in Tallahassee that requires that every time municipalities do a comprehensive plan amendment, municipalities will have to go out for a referendum for a vote. That's not typically the way we do it these days. We've never done it that way, but nevertheless, that's will be on the ballot.
But is this here tonight for us to do some type of referendum?
Resolution
We recommend, it's recommending
Resolution?
defeat
Okay.
of the constitutional amendment number 4.
Can we schedule a presentation of some type for this?
Yes, sir. If you'd like.
Okay, I think that would be good for the public as well as the council.
Okay.
Questions from council on referendum 4, amendment 4? Hearing no questions, all in favor to move forward with having a presentation and to, well, we'll support this with the resolution after the presentation. Correct?
That's fine.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any nays? Okay, the ayes have it. Okay, Councilman Williams, you want to take the finance supplemental items, or do you want me to handle that?
Go right ahead, Mayor.
Okay. Supplemental items, I want to entertain a motion for the approval of supplemental items resolution.
I move it.
Second?
Second it.
Okay. Discussion? Staff report?
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, these are items that have become outdated throughout the last year, or inadequate. We no longer need them, and we just request your permission to surplus them.
Okay.
Pretty simple and very standard. We do this on a yearly basis.
Okay, questions from council? Hearing no further questions, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Okay. Nays, it passes. Item B here, renewal of property insurance for the power plant. Entertain a motion to move forward.
I'll move it.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Staff report.
Yes, sir. This reflects an increase in our premium. I believe T.R. Jones was requested to be here tonight.
I think it's a decrease.
Provide you a little bit more detail about it. Are they here? With your permission, I would like for them to give you a quick briefing on as to the specifics of.
For the public, each one of us have been briefed. I think each one of us have. I know I have. Some of us have. So, Mr. Jones, if you'd like to come forward and just give us something. If you see, I'm trying to speed read tonight because I'm trying to get to all these wonderful parents, mothers, and fathers that are out here waiting for our special call. So it's not like we're fast tracking this. I've had 45 minutes an hour with Mr. Jones, and I'm sure others have had individual meetings with Mr. Jones on this property insurance. And
For the record, my name is Tom Jones, T.R. Jones and Company. 17950 Southwest 285th Street, Homestead, Florida. I'm going to make a summary comment that may help you along with your agenda. And on my recap letter, the summary item, which addresses the power plant, is essentially this. You had a 6.3% increase in property values across the city insurance program, which includes the power plant as well as what we call non-power plant properties. And you had a 1.65% decrease in premiums. So
That's what I want to hear.
So while the values went up, the premiums went down about $18,000.
Perfect.
Now, I can go into much more detail if you'd like.
Further detail on this item, we got one more after this item. Yes, Mr. Williams?
No, go ahead, Mayor.
Okay.
We're moving right along.
Sit tight, because we're going to move to the second one here, but we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, motion passes. Item C, renewal of property insurance excluding the power plant. I will entertain a motion to move forward.
I'll move it.
Second? Okay. The staff report, Mr. Jones.
Same comment. That's part of the property program. It's part of the increases. We had some increases in values due to some appraisals and adding on to the new senior citizens building.
Yes.
Again, the overall premium's down a little bit, and that's a result of a decrease in the excess layers on that property program. There's 3 carriers that are providing the coverage, and while the primary layer increased 3%, the 2 top layers decreased, and the overall effect was a net decrease in premiums.
Good job. Thank you. Any further questions on this property?
Mayor, what a statement.
Yes.
And we do have an independent insurance consultant that overlooked the premiums and what Mr. Jones' company has done, and so they find it to be in very much good standing. So I think T.R. Jones deserves a high commendation for the excellence, and to Priscilla Thompson from risk management in doing this heavy load of work.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Any further discussion from council? Okay, hearing no further discussion, all in favor? Aye. Any nays? Okay, item carries. Item D, thank you, Mr. Jones. Item D is Lucy McMinn line retrofit and certification of extending lines. I want to turn a motion to move it forward.
I move it.
Second, thank you. Staff report, that's something you want to do for the public. Explain to them.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, if you recall, back in January 19, you authorized me to go out for bid. The bids came in and were evaluated. We found that the most responsive bidder was PowerServe Technologies, Inc., and therefore we're at this time recommending that we go with them. As you may also recall, the reason for this was that the relays that we currently have are no longer in production, and replacement of those parts wasn't going to be available. Therefore, we needed to go out and get new ones to retrofit the entire lines along Lucy. So
Thank you.
That's what we're here.
Questions, comments from council? Okay, I have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries. Okay, item E, fiscal year in 2010 budget amendment. Entertain a motion.
I move it.
Second. Thank you. Staff report. What are we adjusting?
Yes, sir. If you would like, I can go really quickly
Real quick.
through each one of these so that you understand what the breakdown is. And specifically, I'm going to mention...
Well, let's take them one at a time, so
One
we'll
at a
vote on
time.
them and go to the next one. Let's vote on them, we'll go to the next one. Do the first one first here, E.
If I may refer you to the Exhibit A attached to your memorandum.
Okay, I looked at it.
It refers to the general fund first, and the budget amendment is for $110, of which $60,000 was on an unanticipated cost for additional fees that we were charged from Miami-Dade County for the city clerk's department because we had anticipated a $70,000 budget, and we ended up with a $130 expenditure. So we had an additional cost there. $50,000 were for repair and maintenance in general for vandalism. I know I met with some of you initially, and I thought that that was for loan service expenditures, but no, the answer is that those $50,000 were for repairs and maintenance for vandalism in every one of the parks. That's how much we had spent, graffiti, etc., addressing those issues. And that's 110. The next one concerns to solid waste, the solid waste enterprise for a total of 186,000. This covers the in-house recycling program that we have. In essence, the transition that we're undergoing from the waste management contract into our own with the recycling that we're about to begin in-house. That's the difference. And obviously, the solid waste enterprise fund will cover that amount very easily. We have the funds for that. But we needed this mechanism to get it, make it evident in the budget.
To make it legal, yes.
Yes.
So the total for E is?
100 for solid waste is 186. The next one is water and wastewater. The utility enterprise it's 1.1 million, and that is the combination of $500,000 for the meter replacement that we recently approved, that you recently approved for the program for the rest of the year. $13,000 to repair the water well, which was unanticipated and not budgeted. $6,000 for the drinking water permit to satisfy the interlocal agreement that we recently entered into with Miami-Dade County for the wastewater, and $500,000 for the excess flow water that we could not treat to, from our
Wastewater facility.
Wastewater facility. Correct. The last item is relates to impact fees. And that is, 288,410, 70,000 of which is for a lift station to handle the community center, 150,000 for anticipated change orders for the same community center, and 68,410 for the redesign of Whitcock Park, the portion that the CDBG program did not cover. The good news is that in that line item, the impact fees, we have an unanticipated increase in our project. We projected a number, and we were happily surprised with $204,000 over what we had anticipated, so that's good news. And that's basically it. The rest, under column A, are the encumbrances. Those numbers are the dollar amounts that were capital projects mostly that were rolled over from previous years. That's why you see those high numbers. Other than that, that pretty much summarizes all the budget amendments at this time, sir.
Okay, but we're going to take them one at a time here. All right, item E, any questions?
Yeah, Mayor, did I hear the managers say that we have 150,000 in change orders for the community center?
Community center.
What were the change orders?
A number of things. Among them, there were interior design changes. There were telephone lines that had to be added, things that were not anticipated through the planning process prior to your time. If I may ask Julio to elaborate a little more as to the details of that, the breakdown of those $150,000. Go ahead.
Well, the items that you mentioned are correct, but in addition to that, there were some additional unexpected costs regarding the fire sprinkler system. The fire department from Dade County came after the fact, after the drawings had been approved. They usually do this. They come to the site and they added an inordinate amount of new fire sprinklers throughout the whole the whole building. So that was really the biggest item, was that one. The rest were just very minor things that we asked for improvements in the building itself.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Burgess.
Isn't that about 7% of our total budget for that problem is going to be overruns? Weren't we like $2.3 million or somewhere in that area?
The total project?
Yes.
I believe so.
It's under 2% actually of the cost of.
150, if we're
2%.
2.3,
It's about 2%.
so how is it
Close to
under
3.
2% if we're at 2.3 million? 230,000 would be 10%. You're telling me 150, so that's about 7%.
Yeah.
That seems to be a recurring theme whenever we build something here in the city. And I don't want to throw out dirt tonight or anything like that, but we've got serious problems. Every time we seem to do some sort of building, whether it's a transformer station, Harris Field, or here, we had gigantic overruns that are never caught. I don't know what to do. I've asked for a monthly report so that we weren't surprised when we got these. I've yet to receive one. I asked for those over a year ago when we started this project. So I'm not very happy with that $150,000 overrun at all. And I don't know what to do, but we're not doing it here in this city to protect our interests when we're taking on projects. And I expect to see some sort of difference in performance a little bit better.
Yes, sir. I will make sure that we follow through with reporting as long as our capital projects are concerned.
Mayor, one more question.
Yes, Mr. Williams, go ahead.
Don't we have a construction manager that will report to?
Well, that would be Julio. God bless him. That's Julio.
Oh, you're the construction manager?
Yes, he is.
He wears many hats. I found that out in the last 3 months.
Oh, okay. All right.
Many hats. And I mean, in defense of the project, the dollar amount, I know you don't want to hear it, 31 years in construction business, and 5% is not a major deal for a cost overrun, even though I agree should be no cost overruns, because I'm going to quote what I heard during the campaign 3 months ago: we don't have cost overruns because we don't accept them. Well, obviously we do accept them because somebody's paying for them now. The new council's paying for them. 5% on a project that took place prior to this council. So
I understand that.
This council, we need to be proactive, as we are doing with our finances each month. We get a finance report. We're going to get a quarterly report that's going to be put on our internet, and the public's going to be able to look at it and monitor us. And I agree with you. That
Mayor, I have
5%
a
on a big
statement.
job.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Now, this is the same project that originally, over a year ago, we reduced by over $500,000. Is this the community center, the senior center that we're talking about, right?
Yes.
Okay, so originally this project was a lot more, and we were able to reduce it by over $500,000. Now, my question to the change orders that we're speaking of tonight, in regards to the $150,000, since it's encumbered in different aspects of it, the change orders came to us, and we approved it individually, are coming to us. How are these change orders approved? Were they individually less than what was required to come before council? Was this done administratively, or are these change orders coming to us since it's expended anyway, now we owe the bills?
You, Mr. Chair?
Well, basically what we do is, with this type of project and the type of changes that were basically permit changes that we didn't have any control over, basically it was a Dade County requirement by the fire department that made these costs to be added to the project. What we like to do is at the end of the project is basically come in one time and do it all at once. Otherwise we have to stop the project in the middle of the job and wait for approval to come in, and that could basically end up costing the city more in terms of schedule overruns, etc., and having the contractor idle waiting for us to make a decision.
Mayor, if I may have a follow-up statement to that, is that through the mayor, that is kind of counteractive to what was just stated on the dais. If the council is to be accountable for the change orders that are coming before us, then how can we be accountable for those decisions if they're being done administratively? And then we're kind of cornered. We're not going to say no to the $150,000 now that the expense has been encumbered, because it's money that we owe to the Miami-Dade County, and so basically we either have to say yes or yes.
Well, because bottom line, we here we are responsible for the money spent at this level right here. And I'll go back to one item. I don't know who oversaw those plans, but you tell me how you build a building of that magnitude and don't put one phone jack in the whole building. Somebody wasn't reviewing the plans. Somebody wasn't watching the farm. Because I don't know how you build a building and walk the entire building and get inspection after inspection after inspection and not have one phone jack in the whole building. Oh, we forgot the phones. And if we want to get into it, there are several items, and I've walked that building, that I can tell you that were not handled properly. And whether it's not our job, I agree with that. We're not micromanagers, but whoever was in charge of that project, how in the world did that project get built without phones? I mean, I didn't want to air our laundry, but now it's out, so I mean, it's something that, you know, that even my little walkthrough of things that I caught with you, and you said you're right, you agreed. So we need to just tighten up on all of it and do a better job for the taxpayer. And we will. We'll do a better job for the taxpayer. And Julio, I don't singly blame you, because listen, I go to you, Julio is wearing about 5 hats right now, and he's doing a dang good job.
I know, sir, and it's also, to his defense, there were, and this was alluded to earlier, there were a number of items that were cut out of that project in order to save money, some of which seemed to be obvious items that needed to remain, but nevertheless were cut out. And at the end of the day, you need them.
Who cut the phones out?
The step had to be taken at one point or another to act.
Like what?
Okay. Further questions on that? Yes, go ahead, Vice Mayor. I know you got the answer for it, but...
I'm sorry I was late.
No problem.
I'll tell you all why later, but my pet died today at 5 o'clock, so I apologize. Talking about the senior center, I was shocked when I went over there and did the walkthrough. And I think, Tom, you might have been with me. I don't remember, but I was just shocked at some of the things that were cut out. I think Julio and I have had discussions, and it was cut out by the past administration, Mayor Bateman, and without my knowledge at all. So it was cut out, and there were a lot of things cut out that shouldn't have been cut out, that now we have to go back and either live with, rectify. Dennis and I have had a conversation about some things. So we just have to work through it, and that's what happened.
Thank you. Okay, item E. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, moving along. Richard, am I doing your job tonight? Tab 8.
You're doing your job very well.
Okay, thank you. Item 8, tab 8, RFP 2000-901, Grant and Administration Project Delivery Service for the 2009-2010 CDGB.
I'll move the grant project.
Thank you. Whipcott Park. Second. No, second. Staff report, quickly.
Yes, sir. This is the Wico Park. It's an ongoing project. This should have been before you a few months ago. It's coming before you today. It's for the remainder of this fiscal year to cover that CDBG grant-funded project, just the administration component. And that's the funding from the CDBG, and it's in the amount of $95,529.
And that's for renovation of an existing park?
That's for the building of the 16 park. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, Whipcock exists now, but okay.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Okay. Any further questions on the Whipcock Park?
Yes, Mayor.
Yes, Mr. Williams.
Are these funds going to the administrator, right? Is that what this?
That is correct, sir.
And are they done on a yearly basis?
They're based on a project basis. Each year varies depending on the project. If a project continues over a series of years, it carries over.
So with this project, the consultant would be in what function, if you kind of explain it to the public?
Administrating, managing the project.
Okay.
But I think that goes along with the grant, does it not, Mr. Williams? Isn't it part of the grant?
There's a percentage of the grant that can be used for administration. It is the city's management role to negotiate that within that percentage with the consultant what that cost is going to be. And my understanding is that it was negotiated with the previous manager, or the office of the manager, you know, that $95,000 fee.
Okay, and this have been for how long? How long has the project been going on?
I believe this is the second year.
Who's
if I
that?
may. That's correct, the second year, sir.
Okay. All right, and it's supposed to be completed by what year?
This year, right?
Well, we just got the funding for the engineering passed with the budget amendment, so as soon as we can get it out.
That's all there.
Yeah.
Well, let's identify project managers on all of it, please, and come back with some timelines. You know, I've been over each project with
Well,
Julio.
in this instance, she will be administering the project, the fund, the grant throughout the project.
I mean, it's all good. It's for a good cause. It's for another park. It's for good things, and it's money not coming out of our general fund. But you know, we need proper management, oversight,
By all means, sir.
and constant reports back to council. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any further questions? Tab 8. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Okay, carries. Tab 9, this is RFP 200901, Grant Administration and Project Delivery Services for 2008-2009 CDGB Entitlement Program Amendment to CDGB-R contract.
Move RFP 200901.
Thank you, Mr. Burgess. Second? I'll second. Okay, thank you. Shelley. Staff report, quickly.
Yes, sir. Similar to the previous one, this is for the grant administration component of the improvements that we're making to Washington Avenue. And the cost for this, the administration cost would be $17,641. The breakdown is, you know, $10,000 are going to come from the administration fees, and $7,641 come from the improvements for the CDBG, from the CDBG.
Okay. Any further questions from council? Hearing no further questions, all in favor? Aye. Nays? Okay, carries. Okay, tab 10 here. Proposal for Whipcock Park Engineering Landscape Architectural Design Services. Entertain a motion?
Move it.
Second? Thank you. Staff report.
Yes, sir. This is the Whitcock Park was originally designed, and the construction of the park is going to be fully funded by the CDBG. But because the park was redesigned, some changes were made. The CDBG portion does not cover that additional design, and therefore we are at this time requesting $68,410, which, by the way, was part of the previous budget amendment that we just discussed.
Yeah.
To cover the redesign of the park. The reason for that redesign is because, as I understand it, there were a number of amenities at the park that the neighborhood or the environment surrounding the park were not in line with. or did not wish for that type of amenity. So it was adjusted to the neighborhood more or less, and the redesign was necessary. So that's the reason for it. The funding is coming from the impact fee fund.
Thank you. Any further questions from council? Hearing no further questions, all in favor? Aye. Nays? Carries. Okay, item 11, Dell hardwood workstation purchase. Is this some Dell computer hardware we need for what, the police department?
The police department, sir.
Okay.
29 of them.
Okay, motion to move it?
Move it.
Second. Thank you. Go ahead.
They're upgrading the system, and this will, replace 29 of those computers. They're needed in the police department. The expenditure is a total of $44,866.09, and the fund is again the impact fee, the police side of the impact fees. It's going to cover this.
Okay. Any further questions from council? Hearing no further questions, all in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Carries. Okay, item 12, professional service agreement. Entertain a motion.
I move it.
Second. Thank you. Staff.
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, members of the City Council, as you may know, Captain Edbo is about to leave us. He's about to retire. One of his functions in this many years have been, at least I know in the last 10 at least, has been that of our emergency management expert. And to that end, and upon retirement, I will propose to you that we hire him on a consulting basis to continue with those services, because on a personal basis, I don't know anyone in Dade County that has such vast knowledge on the subject. So the initial cost for the remainder of this year, it's going to be $31,200 to the end of the fiscal year. Of course, we will be revisiting this item when it comes back to you at, as part of the budget process, to hire him in the same capacity for next year, which is anticipated to be in the $65,000 range. There is a scope of services attached to documentation provided, the memo, and the resolution, of course, where it outlines all of the terms. The scope of services is pretty wide. He'll be very busy with us. He will expand even his existing capacity as an EOC coordinator. He will expand even more so with this new in his new role.
Thank you. Chief Roll. You concur? Yes, sir. Any words at all? I want to hear you tonight.
Well, I'm pretty quiet because he pretty much said it all, but I think it's a good recommendation. I think he would do good at the job. He's been doing it for 12 years since I've been police chief, and it's just something that needs to be carried on throughout the city. Even though he's leaving, we still need this in place because, as you know, every year we're gonna deal with hurricanes and other things that happen just to Mother Nature, and this guy will be a big asset to the city of Homestead.
Well, it's nice to see that we can retain him in some type of capacity. It's good like this. This is very good. Council,
thank you.
I'd just like to concur with the chief. I was thinking about that on the way over here, where Captain Edbo, I had a pleasure working with him just recently, and when we did a fund collection, and just the way that he worked and was able to bring resolution to what we were challenged with was great to be a part of, and the way you see him work. So. And I'm looking at it, God forbid we have another type of disaster area. It's good to know that he's on our corner and that's going to be with us to help us in case if we have a disaster. I have no other person that I know of right now that could tackle it the way he does. So.
Thank you. Further questions or comments from council? Hearing no further questions or comments, all in favor? Aye. Any nays? Motion carries. Okay, tab 13, same thing, professional service and a professional service agreement with MT Causley Incorporated. Entertain a motion to move it. Thank you. Second?
Second, Mayor.
Thank you. Staff report?
Yes, sir. If you recall, a couple of months ago, you had a similar agreement or contract in front of you. In that case, was an amendment to an original agreement with CAP government. And this is in essence to provide inspection services to our building department, to have another entity, another company provide those services, and the ability to compete. If you look at the attachments, there is a list of prices that they have that submitted as part of their proposal, and I just feel that it's a smart thing to do to move on with them, and their fee schedule saves the city a considerable amount of money per trade. So at this point, there are a local company,
That's what I wanted.
Homestead based, which is a huge plus for you and this council. So with your permission, I'd like to recommend approval of it.
Yeah, and this is going to be on an as-needed basis, right?
On an as-needed
Our
basis.
building official, Tom Lampert, will call them as he so needs them.
Yes, sir.
So this is being very, very financially responsible here. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, motion and second. Any questions? Any further questions? from
Mayor, I have a
council?
question.
Yes.
Thank you. Under the CAP agreement, we had it so that the data entry would be from the permit clerk on the city side. And the difference here is that Cosley, we're asking that they're going to provide a permit clerk. And so are they going to be responsible for the data entry?
No,
Okay, so it's the same thing as the CAP agreement?
same thing as the CAP
Data
agreement.
entry with us?
They just provided that line item, but that doesn't mean, it's on an as-needed basis. If I don't need them, we won't call them.
It's just a better rate.
It's just, yes, I mean, if we needed the service, we would, but we will not because we have an internal structure already set up that would take care of that component.
Yes, my question was referring to the integrity of the data that would be inputted, not to the rate, and that's why my question was, if the setup is similar to CAP, then I agree with it, and I don't have a problem with it. Thank you.
Okay, any further questions? Okay, all in favor? Any nays? Motion carries. Okay, item tab 14 is interlocal agreement with Miami-Dade County Water and Sewer Department. Motion?
Move it.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, staff. Quickly.
As you know, our comprehensive plan, it's been somewhat delayed in Tallahassee at the Department of Hearings, the State Division of Administrative Hearings, what is called commonly the acronym DOA. What your action today will formalize our step to move forward, and I believe this agreement is also submitted through the county and was there on the agenda this morning or yesterday?
It was in the agenda this morning, and it was approved.
And it was approved, so then our next step is to submit this information to the state, and hopefully we'll get it out of the hearing process and approved finally.
And I may add that Natasha Sejas was very helpful on that. She worked with Julio. She was down here working with me on a YMCA issue, and as soon as she heard that we had a problem, she made, big notes of it, and it went before the commission today. It passed, and those are friends that we need to continue to network with. Thank you, Julio. Okay, any other further questions on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion carries. Public Safety Committee.
That's you, Mayor.
That's me, yay. And mutual aid agreement, Miami-Dade County and Homestead Police Department. This is like an interlocal agreement with, we can arrest your bad guys, you can arrest our bad guys. Is that what it is, Richard?
Actually, what it does, it says is that if we help you arresting your bad guys, that
They pay us.
no,
Oh.
that the liability is ours, and if they help us with our bad guys, the liability is theirs. So it sort of treats, even though they're going cross jurisdictional lines, they are treated as if they're doing our work. It's a typical that most communities have this with each other.
Thank you. Thank you. Questions from council?
I'll move it, Mayor.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Any nays? Motion carries. Okay, 16. United States Secret Service Agreement. Entertain a motion? Move it. Second? Okay, Richard, you want to handle this one? Oh, I want to hear you tonight, Richard. It's radio break.
I'll do anything you'd like.
Sir, I believe this is the first time we enter into this agreement. It's not a renewal in this case, and it's with the Secret Service for, exchange of electronic information for crime stats and stuff like that.
Right, it allows us to charge them for work that we do.
That's nice. Okay. A motion? We have a motion? Second? Motion? With it? Okay, got it. Any further comments questions or comments from council? Hearing none? All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Carries. Okay, mutual aid agreement, canine tracking unit. Motion?
I'll move it.
Second? Okay, staff report?
Sir, this is another agreement. It's an ongoing agreement that we've had for years with our Canine unit and Dade County.
Okay.
For the department, no, it's actually the State Department of Corrections. It's the State Department. I stand corrected.
Your motion?
Move it.
Second?
Second.
Okay, any further comments from council? Statements? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Carries. Okay, memorandum of understanding with Broward Sheriff's Office.
Move it, Mayor.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Staff report? Sorry, this is another renewal with the Broward Sheriff's Office for overtime incurred by police employees working with the law enforcement against child harm, the task force. That's basically what it is, and it's an ongoing process that we have, program.
Okay, anything further on it?
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. It's just a renewal of
Motion?
program.
We got it, right? Second?
Second.
Okay. Any further questions from council?
Just a comment,
Yes, sir.
I just think it's great that that we can enter into these and help save the city some money with the overtime and stuff, and that we have good relationships with all these other forces out there. So I just think it's good. And congratulations to the chief and their fine job that they must do to continue to get these ability for us to work with these people and have them reimburse us for our work. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion carries. 19. Utilities Committee. How does my name get on this again? Here we go. Intercontrol Communication Protocol, the ICCP link. Motion?
Move it.
Second? Okay, staff report?
I'm going to ask the director to cover this item, sir. With your permission.
Sure, please.
Okay, Mayor, Council, and Mr. City Manager. This is some software that we need to purchase. The Homestead Energy Services Group participates in the Florida Reserve Sharing Group, which is also a form of mutual aid, where if a particular electric utility in that group loses generation capacity, the other utilities assist in ramping up and providing them coverage of that gap. And the Florida Reserve Sharing Group is requiring all of the participants to have a system that gives real-time information on what they have as far as generation and what they contribute after they've been asked. So this software just allows us to participate in providing that real-time data to the Florida Reserve Sharing Group.
Okay, it's funded.
Yes, this was funded. It's budgeted.
Motion? Yeah, motion?
Member-
Second?
Second it.
Any questions, concerns from council?
Just one.
Yes, sir.
This is a requirement, correct? This is a requirement?
Yes, actually, Homestead is the last utility in the group that does not have this. So we had advised them that we would be looking at moving forward with getting the electronic transfer of information.
Any reason for the holdup that we would have asked to submit? Any particular reason why we were the last to submit?
I believe because we had a gap in our department, the person who oversaw this had left, and that position was filled middle of last year, and so the new gentleman who came on board identified this concern and has been moving us forward with getting this in place.
Okay. Any further questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion carries. A resolution for adoption of energy conservation standard.
I move it.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Staff report?
Yes, sir. This is a new program, as I understand it, that helps customers save money in their electric bill. The Florida Public Service Commission requires that all utilities develop a metering policy, and this permits customers' own renewable generation to be interconnected with the utility system and be used to offset part or all of the customer's electric usage. Any excess from the customer generation is delivered into the utility system and is credited back to the customer. So it's whatever you don't use, it gets put back into the system and credited. It's a pretty nice system, and it's made available now.
Okay. Questions, council? Hearing no further questions or comments, all in favor?
There is no cost involved in this.
Thank you. Any nays? Carries. Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second? Okay, that concludes the City of Homestead Committee of Whole / Finance, Enterprise, Public Safety agenda. We're going to take